Chapter 5, The Ringmaster. Before you ask, yes, I know Y2K should be next, but from what I gathered, it wasn't what you would call... Okay, it's hard to explain, but I'll elaborate when we get to it. This song was easier to figure out what was going on, story-wise, with everything that was happening, especially with Hypno Freak, and all of its wonderful implications that it brings. Now, the song starts with the Stipendium, as a reporter for Channel 12 News. He starts off by saying that a small group of investigators went into Central Tower, which Mocha's book says in the center of the city, but we know is Antihuman Inc. Real quick, Ivycombe did say that in the stream, the lore stream, that it's basically a massive shopping center, and that's just where Antihuman HQ is located. There are other businesses there too. Before, we are promptly told they've gone missing, which is a hell of a hook if I've ever heard one. I like to imagine that when Stu goes off screen after cutting the feed, they go to a room that shows what happened to the reporters, because they probably would have had cameras streaming footage back to station, and they see her, the ringmaster. Real quick spoiler alert, the ringmaster is probably not who you're going to expect. The scene is dramatic, with Stu stating that something is wrong with Central Tower, and they've dispatched some investigators to check it out. As he finishes talking, someone off-screen exclaims the team has gone missing. Confused, Stu asks what they mean, before hurriedly telling the camera operator to cut the feed before going to see what the investigation uncovered. I doubt that they took, cameras and streamed stuff back, but, I don't know, that's just my take, and I feel like that's what they should have done, but they probably didn't have that technology at the moment, or on them, or whatever, but anyways. Also, I need to point this out. The character we see in the song, their name is Fleurette. She is not the ringmaster. She is the receptionist for the headquarters for Antihuman Inc. I thought she was the ringmaster, but in the Discord, Lovecut V basically said her importance was basically just the receptionist. Lovecut V did say that Fleurette does do transmutations with humans after hours, and that because Fleurette is the receptionist, this part is my interpretation of her role. She also acts like a guard, because, I kind of believe she's the receptionist and sort of a guard dog, guard bat, haha. But yeah, it's important to know that Fleurette is not the ringmaster. She is just the, receptionist. Her first line is mocking one of the investigators for trying to escape, assumedly. What's interesting is how she says, "Oh, hi, are you looking for the exit? That's rich, you already signed the clip chip. Are you proud betraying your fellow kin, running cowardly away, unwilling to take the risk?" And the reason this sticks out is that she says kin instead of humans or friends. Makes sense because she's a tall Batwoman and not human, but also because she points out that we, one of the investigators, are looking for an exit, and so, by extension, betraying our kin. This basically says that the other investigators were caught snooping around, but given an offer to become part of Antihuman Incorporated, which our protagonist, assumedly, refuses and flees. They are caught and forced to endure the operation. The song talks about how this ringmaster, definitely not Fleurette, is terrifyingly powerful, and how I only learned that Fleurette was not the ringmaster. I mean, probably the ringmaster of what's going on in the song, but not of the whole operation. But whatever, she's absolutely powerful, as the song acknowledges. It's important to note that all the operations are public knowledge, but I don't think what happens during them are very advertised, if you know what I mean. However, the brutality isn't well known, at least as far as I know. This whole thing is about the investigation team being caught. It isn't openly stated that it's not openly stated as fact, but with the setup at the beginning, it's basically implied. However, what the stream did reveal is that you need to sign up for the operation, willingly giving over your body to Antihuman, which the meaning sign the clip chip at the beginning of the song could be referring to. It definitely probably means that the investigation team had to willingly sign up to snoop around. However, by the end, only one of them wanted to stay human. But that's verse 1, and verse 2 is so much more brutal. It's a symphony of syringes and scalpels. Clench your fist as the pain is a handful. First off, where the hell is the anesthesia? Second, symphony is kinda smooth. Fleurette brings up the obvious fact that the operation is beginning, and this is a compliant compound, which further cements the lack of choice in this world. Find it funny that the chorus says she has lips of death, or gives a kiss of death, or whatever, poking fun at the fact that she has fangs like a vampire in her design. This is my favorite part of the song. You see him as a villain, say he's out of control, can't get his twisted mission out of my brain at all. The pain of transmutation, the very thought makes my skin crawl. But the science of the world was so potent before I saw what you see. I wish that I could be human so I could feel every broken bone again. Now, it's important to note that Fleurette is an anti-human. She was never originally a human. She definitely went through the process, which explains the line, the very thought makes my skin crawl, but the silence of the world was so potent before I saw what you see. It's a bit difficult to understand the line without understanding where it's coming from, but yeah, it makes sense once you understand. I need to bring this up real quick because I forgot to change this in my script, but I basically pointed out the fact that anti-humans didn't already exist, even though that's not the case. But I did write down that Mocha and Gron chose two separate paths, with Gron taking a bit more of a biological course, and Mocha took a more mechanical course. They both chose science, however, Mocha was definitely mechanical or technological, as I have obviously stated. Also, I'm going to have to say, screw basic structure, because rereading this, I realized that I have no idea what I was writing, but I'm going to, say it out loud anyways. It's definitely not atrocious, but it's definitely doesn't have any structure, and I kind of just go everywhere. Yep, that's what I get for writing with no sleep whatsoever, and didn't bother rereading. Wonderful. Because the rest of the script for this chapter has been invalidated, I'm just going to state some stuff that I learned on the Discord. Fleurette is a part of a poly marriage called the Gossip Girls, with Morale being the most prominent member, and Fleurette being the more obvious member. It's important to know that only one of the Gossip Girls was never human, so that's an interesting point to make, or discovery, or whatever. I don't know, I'm tired, I can't English. But anyways, the end of the chapter for the end of the script says that the next song was not gonna come out for another while, but that was also completely a lie. Hang on. Okay. This is the end of the part. Please, for the love of God, like and subscribe. I'm losing my mind. I'm just trying to, put this stuff together because I need to get this out as soon as possible. So, I would really appreciate it if you did anything possible within your power to show me appreciation for wasting my own time putting this together. Thank you and goodbye. See you in the next part or whatever.